Welcome, Dynasty. My name's Sherman, and today I bring you another walkthrough slash let's play of Medieval Dynasty. Now, last time on Medieval Dynasty, I showed you how to get your first house set up, complete quite a bit of these chapter quests, get your first money farm going to help you get funds, and kind of walk you through some of the basics, the hunting, some of the technologies, the skills. And today we're going to continue that walkthrough by getting some very necessary buildings started up. Now, you guys might be quite a bit ahead of me. I am at the beginning of day 3. Since I don't have the ability to work through the night much, you guys might have a bit of a head start on me, and that is quite alright. What I would suggest for your next building is going to be one of 2 buildings. Next season, when we get our flax, we're going to need a barn. So a barn is a great building to start with. The other thing is you're going to start finding that your box is running out of space in your house. So resource storage is going to be a huge building. And getting either one of those done next is quite alright. I think I'm going to kind of double team the buildings a bit and just grab resources while I can for both. The other building I have laid here is a food storage. Now, having a food storage up before your season ends is going to be super helpful for the food that you currently have, just because without it, the food you have is going to take quite a bit of a quality hit. Let's go ahead and collect our rabbit trap here. We'll arm that. Trapping will help you with some of your skills, so it's kind of nice to keep a trap down. So we're going to work on getting these both done, but one thing I wanted to show you is if you're having trouble finding stone, one thing that I found that's really nice is generally, and I've cleared this area in most cases, when you're walking through the woods, you can go to like where you see these bigger stones, and generally there'll be quite a bit of stones around these bigger stones and around trees. So kind of if you go to that area, you'll find stuff all around here. If you see a broadleaf plant, go ahead and grab it. It's kind of your healing plant, or it is your healing plant. That'll get more useful later. But as you can see, I just kind of go where these large stones are and look around. And I may have already come over here to this area, since that is kind of what I do. Eventually, we're going to get a skill here. Let's see. Here it is. It's in survival. So in survival, eventually we can get this survival sense. If you guys want to get it before maxing out your survival knowledge, that is completely up to you. Don't let me tell you that you have to dump all of your 3 points in here. I like to dump my first 3 points in here just because it helps me level up to get these other points faster. Survival sense will help you see those stones with your alt vision, so it is super beneficial. Now, another way we can get stone and part of the reason I was picking these stones up to begin with is so we can make what we need. Now, this is going to take a little bit walking if you're in the area where I am. You decided to put up your roots where I'm at. It might take a little walking for you, but if we go ahead and we make a pickaxe, and we need to equip that bad boy. And we start walking up in this direction. Now, unfortunately, these stones aren't mineable. These ones you just see in here, what you're going to be looking for. Oh, and be careful of the boars. They can be aggressive. Boars, wolves, bears. You want to watch all of those guys. There are some other ones you want to be careful of when you are planning to attack them. But those three will go out of their way to go after you. So if we come up into the hills, we should start seeing exposed rock like we see here. Let me go ahead and run. When you see this exposed rock, if you have a pick, it'll say rock 100%. And you can actually mine this rock, and it will give you stone once you complete that down to 0. So as you can see, we just got 4 stone and 1 limestone. Limestone's going to be used to upgrade our houses later. Now, it will deplete quite a bit of area, so you might have to move. So we're going to go up here. Now, the only tricky thing about this is just you can get filled up very easy, and then it'll be somewhat slow to get back. As you can see, I'm already overweight. But the more and more you go into these mountains, the more and more exposed rock you're going to see. So it's a really good way that if you're having trouble finding the rock, that you can get some rock for yourself. And who knows, maybe you built next to a mountain. You decided to build your town next to a mountain, and that's really easy for you to get to. So I figured I should go over that for you, since you guys might be in different locations from me, where that's a much easier of a method to get stone versus finding it. Alright guys, it is almost the end of the season, but we got all 3 buildings knocked out in the one day. Now what I'm going to try and do quickly is get my food moved over. That's the part that's gonna matter the most. And it is nighttime. I went ahead and turned up the brightness, so hopefully you guys can see. But what's gonna happen is if you put your food in your food storage, and you want to make sure you get it out of your inventory, all that good stuff. There we go. It'll keep it from, like I said, taking as much of an impact in losing quality. Now this beautiful guy, the resource storage, has 1,000 storage. 1,000. So we were working with 50 in our house, and now we have 1,000, which is a huge difference, and is going to allow me to gather much more materials while we're in between videos, so we can definitely get a lot more accomplished without me having to stop. The other thing the resource storage allows is it shares resources with your villagers, so anything that's in here they can use. A lot of it they don't use. I mean, for instance, they're not going to really use your broadleaf plantains. They're not going to use your feathers unless you have them making arrows or something of that case. A lot of it they're not going to use just randomly. You're going to be assigning them to a job to use it. All right, so now we're going to double check. Oh, we have some points here. Throw those in there. You guys should be getting up your skills just by doing your random stuff. I've gotten quite a few skill points. Our technology should be going up just by doing stuff. This woodshed is going to be fantastic for us. We want to make sure that we have at least 200 coin for the end of this season, so don't forget that if you haven't gotten that 200 coin. And we are going to go ahead and sleep. And it looks like we did not get a end of season event. It will be a thing that pops up there, so Now we have our beautiful morning, our new season, and look at what we have. We have our super lovely flax. So we're going to go ahead and get that flax up. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this flax. Let's put our sickle on number 5. Now, we may end up needing more than one sickle, but getting as much flax as you can with the one will give you money to be able to get another. So I'm just going to hold and just walk. Sometimes you can hit multiple. I struggle with that a little bit, not going to lie. We'll get tired very easy, but you want to get all the flax up. It's gonna make you a ton of money. I say a ton. I think a field this size is gonna get you roughly, depending on how many seeds you hang on to, probably roughly 600. But it's gonna give us a ton of seed to get a much larger field later on, which is going to be super necessary. Now, the only bad thing about flax is you can only plant it in the spring and then harvest it in the summer. I went to the wrong place. So it's very limited on, if you have a small field like that, it's very limited on how much money it's going to make you. But don't worry, there are other things you can plant to use the field up if you really want to. I'll show you a couple of those options when we go to town. And once you get your flax all kind of brought together here, and I probably should do an even 100 just to make things even. You're going to go ahead and come to the threshing floor. You're going to craft flax seed and flax stalk. And it goes pretty quick, but in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed as much as I could before we broke our sickle. And I went ahead and thrashed those down to flaxseed and flax stalk, which got us about 155. Now, looking at our farm, we still got, I'd say, probably a little under half left that we need to pick up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my resource storage here, and I'm going to save, let's say, 100. 100? That ends up being like a 10 by 10. Yeah, I think that's good for now. I wouldn't want to go much higher than 40 myself when I'm doing it myself. Just because 40 takes quite a bit of time. And if you get much bigger than 100, you're going to be spending almost a whole day or more, depending on how big you get, just working on your farm. And that's when you have a 3-day season. Now, if you have a 3-day season, that really hurts. Now, if you've upped your season to 5 to 7 days to make things a little bit easier, go for it. Build as big of a farm as you want. You have plenty of time to spare. Myself, not so much. So now what I want to do is we're going to run into town. We're going to see how much this is going to make us. And you know what? I want to have at least 100 of each so I can show you guys how much it ends up making you. So I should be able to get 100 seeds out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and take what we have. And I will see you guys back once we get to town. Alright, and we are back in town. Let's go take a look. We'll talk to Samir. It doesn't matter, I don't think, who you actually sell it to. And so I'm going to go ahead and sell 100 of the flax stock. So we get a good even amount here. Come on. That's 250. And then 100 of the seeds. Is 500. So the seeds sell for more. That's why you want to hang on to what you need. Okay. And it's going to hurt you a little bit on this sell, but that's fine because you're going to get a lot more the next time. And you don't have to spend the money to go ahead and hang on to the seed, right? Whereas if you go to buy it, you're going to pay double what you're going to sell it for. So we're able to sell the seed for 5. But if I go up to Edwin here, and I go to buy seed,
best goods in the valley,
it costs me 15. So it's more than double, actually. I'm not sure why we're getting such a low. Now, one thing you do want to be careful about, and I didn't check before selling stuff, so you may actually get a bit more. You want to double check your dirt level. I don't know if I went over this in the first episode. Now, our dirt level is not too high, but we could bring that down a bit. And let's see if that makes any difference in our sales price. Now, we really don't have any diplomacy, so we are going to lose because of that. But I thought it's generally about half. And to get clean, you got to kind of be fully submerged in the water. There we go. Now we're down to 0. And let's go double check that that didn't impact us. When you're farming, I've noticed that it tends to get you dirtier. So you definitely want to wash off before you talk to anybody for flirting or for buying and selling. Nope, still 5. So quite a big difference there. It's a third of the price that you're going to get for selling it. And this will get better as your diplomacy gets better. You'll sell it for more, but at the moment we're talking about I could keep, 100 seeds and not make $500. But if I make the $500, I'm going to spend, $150 or I'm sorry, 1,500 coin to get it later. So it's better to hang on to it and use that to just have more next season if you're going to build a bigger farm. Now, we will need fertilizer to replant. I'm not going to worry about getting the fertilizer at the moment because I don't plan to plant anything else. But if you do want to plant some other things, if you look at the seed, it will tell you when it can be planted. So this is planted in spring. This won't help you. This is spring or summer, so you could actually plant cabbage right now. Cabbage is pretty good for food. Not so great for selling as far as I'm concerned. You can plant carrots during the spring or winter, so we can't plant that right now. We are summertime. Oat is spring. Onion is spring. Poppy seed is spring. Rye is autumn. So if you want to use this season to kind of prep your fertilizer and the field, then you can plant rye next season if you want, or you could plant cabbage and then plant rye. And then you have wheat, which is spring or autumn. So the same thing, that would be next season. So really, I think during the summer, the only thing we can plant is cabbage. And cabbage doesn't sell very well. I mean, you figure you're probably going to get less than half of this 4.5 right now. So I'm not sure that it's really worth it, especially when you're currently buying the fertilizer at 7.5. If you're not making at least 7.5 per a thing, it's not going to be worth it. So you figure you might make about 7.5 because you figure cabbage seed is 12. So you'll probably get 5 or 6, maybe 4, 5 or 6. Hopefully you get at least 2 for this. So you're going to be like right there or maybe making a coin. It's probably not worth it for selling, but cabbage can be used for food. So if you've already started getting villagers, you've jumped ahead of me, feel free to plant you some cabbage so you can feed everybody. And it'll help you with not having to hunt as much.
Whatever you need.
I am going to go ahead
I've
and
got it.
sell the rest of that. I'm going to hang on to... Nah, I'm going to go ahead and
Goodbye.
sell the seed as well. Oh,
Hail,
what we
friend.
do need from Edwin...
My wares never disappoint.
We do need from Edwin a stone sickle, though. So we're going to grab that so we can finish up.
See you soon.
Great. So while we're here, our chapter quest requires us to complete a flirt and a few quests for neighbors. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to find a young lady. Now, if they are recruitable, you can flirt with them without having to worry about the fact that they are married. So we're going to go to this beautiful young lady right here. We're going to go to romance. You seem very interesting. Can I ask you something? I got you a little something. Okay. So not a whole lot we can actually do to as far as flirting with her. A lot of times you'll have more options. Be really careful. Some will improve affection and some will remove affection if she doesn't like it. Oh, okay. There's our other options. Do you have a favorite color? Mine's brown. I don't really know why. It just always made me feel safe. Love the local cuisine. Nice weather. Okay. So let's do favorite color. And that gave us an affection change of +5. Now, the way... And that should be enough. The way this game works is you can get a wife. Hey, look. It's telling us right now. We got a hot tip. You can get a wife. And you have to get that affection all the way up to 100% before you can ask her to marry you. And it does take time. Now, you don't have to do it right off the bat. You don't have to get a wife. It's based off of... If you look at your inventory, you can see your age. You're currently 18 when you start. I would say as long as you get married and have a child, probably by, let's say 30 to be close or to be safe. It takes... They've got to be 18 before, like, your character will die of old age. They've got to be 18 or you can't take them over and it's going to end your game. I believe, and I could be horribly wrong because I have not made it this far. 30 years or 40 years is a very long time in this game. I believe you're good till about 60, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard. So as long as, you know, you have an 18-year-old before you get around that 50, 60 range, you should be good. So I'm going to wait a while before I worry about that because your child will get skills based off of your skills. Now, it wouldn't be too bad to go ahead and get married and get your spouse working so they can get their skills up as well. If that's something you want to do, you can do that because luckily with your spouse, you can choose when you're ready to have a child. That is one way to go about it. I'm going to wait. Now, let's find these quests. So we got these quest markers. This one's just to talk to Unigost. Again, read the quests, guys. They are a lot of fun. They're really funny. Definitely worth a read. And well, I'm gonna go see. We got someone here.
Greetings,
Hello.
stranger.
Can I help you with something? Dangerous animals. Would you be willing to cut down a number of them for us? Sure. All right. And I'm going to go over here and... Now, this is Alwyn. His quest doesn't count for this. So I am not going to do that one. We'll start Alwyn's quest a little bit later. And it's up to you. You can go ahead and do it. The beginnings of it aren't too bad. But it's not going to count for your chapter quest. Hello, Lambert.
Familiar face. Welcome.
I am an elderly man who is unable to craft tools on his own. Could you please bring me an axe? Yep. We can definitely do that. All right. Now, before you do any of these quests, I highly suggest that you go ahead and look at them because they may sound like they are one thing and they end up being something completely different. This guy wants, luckily for us, a stone axe. But what you may find is he says, hey, crafting an axe, you go craft a stone axe, and it ends up being bronze or copper or something like that. Now, this is going to give us some production technology, which is really nice. This one's going to give us some coins, some arrows, and some dynasty reputation. But this one does require us to wait till night. So let's go ahead and get Lambert a stone axe, because that'll be very easy for us to do. And it gives me a great opportunity to go ahead and show off that vision I was talking about. And that ended up being in survival. So the survival sense, which I can see these rocks right here, but in case you're having a hard time finding rocks, once you get survival sense, it highlights them, it highlights plants, it highlights sticks that you can pick up. It'll help you a ton, so I highly suggest it. Alright, there's our axe. That'll get one quest for us finished, and just so I can make sure that we're at 24.6 production.
What can I do for you?
Take care.
Is it because I don't have that selected?
How have you been?
Farewell.
Okay, something's going on. Ah, it equipped our axe. Okay. I don't know why it auto-equipped that, since we have an axe in our slot. But it auto-equipped it, so he doesn't see us as having one. Alright, here's your axe. So we should see... Yep, we got our points. Very nice. And that also gave us Dynasty reputation, which is somewhat helpful more later on. But we did get the kitchen unlocked finally, and we need to wait for night before we can figure out we can do this other one. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and do a part of Dobrnega's quest here. As it auto-selected and lit that up, we can go ahead and do that. Hello. Yep, she wants to, Beautiful. Basically, the gist is she doesn't have the rye. It's supposed to come from someone else. We need to go check with him. And that is going to send you way across the world. So I believe we are all set here. We have to wait till nighttime before we can do this. It says wait for the next evening, and then it'll tell us what we can actually do. Now, with hunting, we're going to need to have some spears. And I'm not fond. Actually, while we're here, we're going to go check a place that I know a village pops up. If you take a look at your map and you look at this lovely area right here where you got kind of the island splits in the water, there is a chance for a camp there. So let's go take a look. Okay, so right here where this little bridge is going across, there is a chance that you can get a camp here. They're generally a really nice sized camp. But don't worry, it's not a loss to come over here every so often and not find the camp, because you could find some ore hanging out right here. We got a little bit of limestone, some tin, not too bad. Oh, there's some iron ore, beautiful. And let's take a quick drink. And then we're gonna find this beautiful bronze pickaxe, which I love to see because those things are worth a good deal of money. They're also worth a lot to you in the sense that they will break much slower. So to go over how tools work, here's your stone pickaxe. It's got a durability of 50. It does 25 damage and has 15 extraction. Here's your bronze pickaxe that has 10 times the durability of 500. Does way more damage and has 20 extraction. Now, I believe the extraction is going to be how much that you can get from resources. So let's give it a try here. Here's a rock. If I remember correctly, we get about 4 stone and 1 limestone. In this case, we got 3 and 2. So basically, you get 5 items. Now, we have our bronze pick. And it only gave us 4 items. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure the extraction, there could be some randomness with how much you collect. The extra extraction is supposed to give you more resources. And we're getting much less. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not sure why that is. I'm going to have to look into that one. Now, don't forget, always take different paths. I ran through the woods in a straight path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here just to kind of see this water. Sometimes you'll find barrels and sacks, especially around bridges like this one. In this case, none. Oh, and look at there. Right on the path, we found an overturned cart. Let's hopefully get something good here. Looks like in this case, we're just going to get a couple of planks. Not really all that great. We'll grab this stone just because it's easy to see. Alright, so, oh, no, we are not grabbing that stone because we picked up a ton of stone and now we are overweight. And I'm not going to be limping back. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to head back to our village. And on the way, I took the path and the road. So I will either run through the forest or run along the lake to see if there's any additional stuff. And I'll show it to you if we find anything. So the bridge next to our village, I noticed right across here. So I ran across. We did find a couple of barrels. We got a couple of oat grain. Okay. And a 3 plum tree seedlings. Not too bad. There were some additional barrels that were down there, but I believe we had already looted them because they were empty. They may still be there from the spring. But you never know what you're going to find, so definitely worth. Those barrels can sometimes have fertilizer, which, as you guys have probably already noticed, is super expensive. Alright, so we're going to need some logs here. I'm going to go ahead and drop our planks we found. And our stuff here. We'll throw sticks in there. I don't need our pick at the moment. We don't need the limestone. We don't need this bronze pick. We'll drop the ore. Just kind of throw everything in there. We will get that stone sickle finished up, but not right now. Okay, that's probably good. Now, if you have a bow already, I highly suggest using a bow. In my case, I don't have a bow yet. But if you found one of those beautiful camps and you have a bow, definitely use your bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some wooden spears to get those ready. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to eat some food. Apologize for the eating noise if that does trigger people. Let's get our spears on. Here we go. And then one thing I should go over with, how do you tell what to put into what storage? If you look over here when you select an item in your inventory, so let's say I select coin, it'll say that this coin stores in resource storage the best. If I go to meat, it says food storage. And that'll tell you which storage is going to keep the condition from dropping as much. What I've seen is, as you can see, we lost what is that roughly? That'd be 3, so about 12.5%. If you have this in the storage in your house, it loses double that, which is 25%. And if you have this in your inventory, if you have this food in your inventory, you'll lose 50%, so double that. So there's a big difference between which inventory you have it in. I did test to see how big of a difference it was, and it is quite significant. So if you can get the food storage up before the end of the season, great. If not, at least make sure it's not in your inventory and it's in the chest in here. And that'll keep you from getting a 50% hit and only a 25% hit. All right, so we are just waiting for the night. While I wait, I'm going to gather some stuff and we'll be right back. All right, so we've made it to our evening. And our job is to kill a bear or a wolf. And I'm not sure that I have either one of those found yet. So let me go track down some wolves. This is going to be super tough with spears. If you have a bow, this is going to be easy. You can sneak, you can get a headshot with the bow. If you're using spears like me, I'm going to try it, but I may fail horribly. If you're using spears like me, it may be worth just letting it go. You will lose a little Dynasty reputation for not doing it during the season. You might wait a little later in the season and you might find a bow at a camp or something. But you may want to hold it off. But let's see what happens. All right, we found a wolf. So let's give this a shot. Probably help if I use the... Oh! Okay. Not too bad. We do need to kill 3. You do have to be very, very careful with wolves because they will call their buddies. But I was actually thinking that was going to be much worse, that we were going to use 3. We're going to end up having to use 3 of our spears and then hang on to the last one and hope we can get some lucky stabs in. But that actually turned out to be very, very viable. And not too bad. So let me track down some more wolves and we'll get this completed. Alright, found another one here. I want to get that lucky headshot. Oh, this one's hurting. Alright, he's really hurt, so now he's running away. Hopefully this will take him out. Gotta remember that our things are gonna be up there. If we can get another one, there he goes. He went down. Perfect. 2 down. All right, guys. So I have not been able to find another wolf spot. I killed the 2 wolves that were. Where were we? We were up around. Oh, we were right here. I killed the 2 wolves that I found in that spot. I couldn't find any more. And as you guys have seen, I've searched all over. Wait, is that one right there? No, this isn't a wolf spot at all. That's weird. I didn't actually find a wolf spot here, but we definitely... A wolf looks like this. I don't see any jumping wolf, but we definitely killed some wolves over here. So I killed the couple that were here. I'm not sure why the spot's not revealed. And as you can see, I've searched all over. Oh, there is one here that I missed. I might have to go back and check that spot over there and find one. But that's okay. We have a few more days left in the season. We can get this done. We got to find another one. It's all good. While we were waiting for the nighttime, I did go ahead and finish getting up the rest of the flax. You want to make sure you get that done. And since I was waiting for the night, I figured I'd go ahead and knock it out. This episode, we got the barn finished, and I walked you guys through what to do with your flax and how to make the money by selling it. We got the food storage finished, and we got the resource storage finished. We completed some more chapter quests, and we are looking absolutely fantastic. We are still at the development stage of camp. We still only have 5 buildings, but I believe once we complete this, yep, we will jump up to 10. So we just got to get this last quest knocked out here, and we will get this good to go. And that's going to call the end of this episode, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you liked the episode, do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment. Love to see your guys' comments. Even if it's, hey, you should have went over this. It'd have been better if you did this. Let me know. I want to know what your guys' opinions on it are, and I will definitely take them into consideration for the next episode. And don't forget to hit a subscribe for me, so you guys will see, you can get a notification when my next video drops. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one.